Hello and welcome to Comics with Jose. My name is Jose. I love comics and I want to share them with you. Follow me on Twitter at artofjvelez or on Instagram at jvelez622 where I share some doodles that I work on and a little comic book story that I'm currently working on as well, free of charge. I do this for fun and I just enjoy talking and sharing comic books. Like, follow, and subscribe if you like the channel. We're going to go over comic book stories that I have. I own a lot of comic books over the years. We're going to use digital, however, because it's easier to share on digital on your computer screen or phone. Welcome back, everyone. Hope that you have been enjoying these kind of going through some cool comic books. Today we are going to be looking at Thor 341 from 1983, written and drawn by the one and only Walter Simonson, one of my most absolute favorite artists of all time. I just he's one of my favorites, absolutely. And here is this awesome cover. Just kind of look at it for. We see that dragon Fafnir that he's been teasing throughout that Beta Ray Bill. Finally, we're looking that Thor is about to fight. How cool is just unafraid? Just Thor is one of my favorite Marvel characters. And a big reason is Walter Simonson. So, all right, here we go. So, after all that happened previously with Beta Ray Bill, Thor is returning to Earth. And he is looking for, or he's not looking for, but he's going to be going to Avengers Mansion here in a second. I do want to show, people love this. This is the Chrysler building. And just look how tall he makes it above everything else. And then, of course, the Twin Towers. The lettering here by John Workman. John Workman is the letterer that Walter Simonson prefers. I absolutely just love Simonson's compositions. So, all right. So, he's going to Avengers Mansion and he's going inside. Now, this eventually is revealed, but they wanted to keep it a secret for a little bit because Secret Wars, the very first one, was going to be coming out. They didn't want to tease it, unfortunately. So these 3 panels will actually be revealed at a later time. Hey, I'm making a little edit. I have worked far ahead and realized that I never showed the actual panels. I said I was going to do it at another time, and I actually kept doing videos and realized I never showed you what was on those panels on issue 341. So these are the 3 panels that were cut out, and these were released a few issues later, and Marvel wanted you to cut along these lines and then paste it into those into that comic book. Of course, a lot of people didn't do that, but some kids probably did. I didn't actually do that, but this is the beginning, sort of, to Marvel Secret Wars. So anyway, so this is what those 3 mystery panels are. All right, so Lorelei is on Earth at the behest of Loki. She's looking for Fafnir the dragon. These 2 thugs come in and she hypnotizes them to fight each other instead, and she walks away. And even though they don't show the fighting, you can see, she tells him to, and you can see it from the captions here. I love the fact that he just kind of uses that to keep the story moving. Um, so here she is. She's arriving to get Fafnir. Fafnir is upset that she disturbed her slumber. She's going to try to hypnotize him, but he in turn hypnotizes her. And I want to show you this panel because you can really see it really well here when it's big. It's just a repeat of this one. It just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. It's pretty cool. So, a couple of weeks later, Thor has arrived. He didn't fly. He took this little thing. I think it's pretty cool. Um, Nick Fury is not impressed because, of course, why would he be? And he's asking for help. And Thor feels something kind of like his Jedi sense. Here, I love this. This is just for the cheekbone, and they're just you see a lot of artists all the time, but I mean, I just I love how certain artists just make marks and they look good when they do it. I wish I had the confidence. I make these marks and my drawing looks dumb. They make the marks and it just reads well. You can see here in the cheekbones um, how they're drawn here, kind of on the lip here. I just love these marks. If you can see here, so he wants to talk to Nick Fury because he needs his help, and they want to do it in private. And I like this line here. Not only do I get to ramrod the joint, I get a private suite courtesy of the taxpayers. Kind of like, your typical government man who they just live off taxes and, we pay them. So, real quick, I just want to. I love the lettering that John Workman and Walter Simonson do. I just marvel at it with the cutting of the panel here. Um, so Thor essentially tells Nick Fury everything that's happened so far about not being Donald Blake anymore, and he needs a place to live. He doesn't want to live in Avengers Tower because he values his independence. So he asks for the costumer to come up because he has a customer for him. So the costumer is going to make a costume for Thor, essentially, is what it is. So, and that they're going to see what they can do about an apartment. So, about half an hour later, here he comes, and he's just dressed just a big hulking version of himself with a ponytail. And Nick Fury is looking for some readers, and he gives it to him. He says, "Hey, they work for that other guy." Here he says, "They work for that other guy," meaning Superman. He says he's not sure about him, and tells him that they've got a bunch of reporters. Let's check him out. He opens the door, and here's Superman, Clark Kent, how they put him in there. Of course, they were able to do it because, of course, they don't use names, and you can get away with stuff. Um, so he helps Clark Kent up, and um, this is Lois Lane here, and I love this part. Yeah, that looked like could have, but I could have sworn. And then he goes, nah. So, all right. So in Asgard, Odin is doing some enchantments and spells. And what he's basically doing is he's carving out the spells into the claws of his ravens, Hugin and Munin, so that they can travel beyond any barrier. He wants them to travel to the demon's domain and discover basically what the secret of their origin is. So now on Earth here, Thor is going to be uh, meeting a guy named oh, I think his name is in there somewhere. I think Jerry. I think Jerry Sapristi, and he is looking for. Basically, Nick Fury said, "I'm up for a job," and so there's a scream, and he wants Thor to wear a hard hat because it's a construction zone. He doesn't know Thor, of course, is Thor. Love this running panel, just very cool, very cool. Um, Goodness gracious, Walter Simonson is so flippin' cool. All right, so um, this is Lorelai, although we don't know this at this moment, but this is Lorelai here hanging out, or being bounded, and the guy's yelling, at Thor what he's doing. Mjolnir is in the backpack thing or knapsack, as it's called, and he feels like there's an earthquake. Everything's kind of moving. The crane is falling. Thor's trying to save this woman here, or Lorelei, and he gets her. Um, and Fafnir comes out, says he's found him, and he can't believe that the creature that he defeated years ago is has gotten so large and seems deadlier than ever. Look at just what an absolute master of composition Simonson is. And like I said, even though this is water, he does it in this amazing little. Man, I try to do it every time there's fire. Like he draws his fire the same way he does his water. So I like that. He continues to show setting. He doesn't even here. You can see the cities right behind him. So um, he recognizes Thor, and that the trap is sprung, and he is trying to get the hammer. Elseworld, we kind of have Walter Simonson has not forgotten about this. So this creature here um, actually speaks, and he is summoning the Dark Elf. Longtime readers, or those of you who watch the movies, know who the Dark Elf is. So we'll just won't ruin it for now. He, of course, strikes the anvil with his hammer, and doom comes up, and there's an answer that says, I will. So it's being answered. So Thor has saved Lorelei from the crushing debris, but he hears something again. So real quick here, I was wrong the first time when I said he senses a disturbance in the force, and I kind of laughed it off. He wasn't Fafnir that he was feeling. He's feeling something that's going to be set up soon, but he heard something, and yet now it's kind of faded away. So he finally got his hammer and strikes it. With Fafnir wondering what was that, and he thinks he's killed Thor, of course, but as we all know, Thor, this is his own title, and Thor's not gonna die in his own title. So we kind of go down and we get like a quick recap of why Fafnir is so angry and what he wants. So he used to be a king, a mortal king. He dabbled with the evils, or also known as sorcery, is essentially what it is. And Odin dis- destroyed his people and forced him into exile. Um, and he was able to transform into this dragon. So he wants to repay Odin by killing Thor, essentially. And here we see how Thor had defeated him by striking his hammer, forcing him to fall in. And he says it's true, but he is now ready for his revenge. So in Asgard now, we see Volstagg is looking for Balder. Balder has left in the wilderness, but left his pantry well stocked to distract uh, Volstagg from looking for him and finding him. So Balder is sitting by the fire. He's unaware that he's being observed by Karnilla and Hag. Karnilla orders that there be no harm done to him while he's in her kingdom because she kind of has a plan for him. So this guy kind of looks like the Sod from the New Gods, Darkseid's little lackey. So Thor is fighting Fafnir, and some of the debris is catching on fire. So he creates a storm for to quench the the fire. And Fafnir thinks that it's similar to how Thor had trapped him in the past, and he does not want to be trapped, so he decides to escape, and says that he'll try this again. So the fire is quenched, but Fafnir has escaped. Thor's gonna go after him, but it looks like Fafnir released the river into the tunnels. So Thor uses his hammer to kind of create a dam here, and he's gonna get ready for his next in Asgard. Real quick here, look at this. Simonson is such a great artist. Goodness gracious. In Asgard, Loki is essentially just enjoying his trickery, how he's able to um, make a game between Thor, Fafnir, and Lorelei, and he wants to see how this game is going to end up playing out. Back on Earth, Thor has changed back to I think Sigurd Jarlson, very Scandinavian anyway. So he rescued Lorelei, who thanks him so much, and she falls back asleep. That's all right. We are near the end because I'm like, how the heck did she fall asleep again? So Thor hears that voice again. He's determined to see what the heck it is. So, well, this concludes our issue. So, Thor 341 from 1983, written and drawn by Walter Simonson, with the amazing lettering of John Workman. Like and subscribe.